Hello guys, how are we all, and welcome to the Riding with Robbie YouTube channel. So, if you've been following the channel, then I put a video up about a week ago saying that I was going to go back and do the lap of Anglia. So this is a 400-mile ride, but instead of doing it the typical fashion of over 4 days, last year me and Paul did it in a single shot. So I decided I was going to return this year and do it again and see if I can better my time, or just be a better ultra cyclist throughout the process of doing the ride. So since I've been doing much endurance recently, I decided that it would probably be good just to go out and just to see how I feel doing big miles. I've made a lot of changes recently. Haven't been training much endurance. I'm using a completely different bike. So I just kind of wanted to do a big ride of 10 hours just to see how I felt doing, big endurance again. So I went out about 5:30 in the morning and I started to ride up to Hunstanton, had a headwind, but obviously being so early in the morning, it wasn't too strong. And my plan was to ride all the way around to Great Yarmouth and then zigzag back through Norwich, which is all North Norfolk coast here in the UK. It was challenging, actually, to be brutally honest. So the first couple of hours were great. I was just so excited for the day. I hadn't really had a big day out on the bike in a very long time. Kind of work, life and stuff like getting married had taken over the majority of this year. So it was just nice to kind of feel that freedom of just being on the bike all day. About 3 hours in, I decided to stop at Cromer. I had some water and genuinely got some more food because I knew I was going to start getting hungry. I wasn't really putting as many calories in as I probably should have done, but I'm not used to consuming all this sugar as I used to when I rode a lot. So anyway, by hour 4, I'm starting to feel really achy. I'm like, oh, my back aches and I'm going to have to keep stopping. But I decided, look, Rob, you're going to ache. That's what ultra cycling is. Just get on with it and just see how you feel at hour 5. So by hour 5, I'm like, oh, my neck aches now. Then I thought, you know what, Rob, if the back went, the neck will probably go. So I literally carried on till 6 hours. And by that point, I'm kind of nearing Norwich and thought I'll stop soon and get some more food and water and pick up some Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because I actually collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There's a secret fact that I've not really told anyone before. So yeah, so I was going to pick some up in a shop in Norwich. So carried on, got to Norwich, picked up some cards, got some more food and water and some real food. I actually got a Subway sandwich and stuff and stayed away from sugar and then carried on riding. By hour 7, I was buzzing. I was loving it. There was no aches, no pains. I was just genuinely having a really good time. And out of nowhere, Paul rings me and I was riding for a while chatting to Paul. And yeah, I just felt really good. And from feeling a bit crappy at hour 4 and 5, I didn't realise that was all just going to go away and I was just going to be back in that place of, God, I love riding my bike. So yeah, hour 8 came round and I started to head towards home. I knew I was probably, let's say, about an hour from home. So I started heading back towards where I lived in King's Lynn. And yeah, it was good. I had a pretty good tailwind, but I thought I'm going to be back 8.5, 9 hours. So I have to extend it out a little bit. So I headed up towards the coast and realised that I'm not really going to get another hour out of the food and water I've got on the bike currently. So I stopped again, had a cheeky brownie, a cappuccino, filled up my water bottles and carried on. I genuinely contemplated, should I stay out for a couple more hours? I was having such a good time. I wasn't in any pain. I wasn't feeling uncomfortable at all. And, bear in mind, I'm using a road racing bike here. I'm not on, a super endurance bike. I'm using a road racing bike, but I love the yo-yo. It just seems to, even as a road racing bike, it just works so well for my kind of riding. And anyway, so I carried on and got back with about 10 minutes off 10 hours. When I got home, I felt fine. And I didn't feel like at all that I was like, God, that was hard work. I just felt like, God, I probably could have stayed out and done more, but I didn't want to, because then it's just going to mean more recovery and I've got to do a monster ride in 2 weeks. So realistically, if I'd carried on, it wouldn't have really had any benefit at all, really. So yeah, I got home and I felt absolutely fine. I said to Bryony, my wife, she goes, how are you? And I was like, yeah, I feel great. I feel great. I don't think I've lost it. Like, it wasn't easy, but I haven't lost it. Now I start to look at the stats. I'm not really a big person when it comes to heart rates and average speeds and stuff. So my heart rate actually started as an average as 130 and it finished at 138. So my max is 195. So I was pretty happy with that. It's about 70%, 75%. So I was really, really pleased with how that was. That was a really good place for me to be at. And then also on top of that, I noticed that my speed, and this is something that I was interested in seeing. So typically on a ride like that, I would have been averaging 15 and a half. And then I started looking at the speed and realized that for the first, up until I was going in the city and getting stuck in traffic, I was averaging 17 and a half miles an hour. And I didn't even have a tailwind for much of the ride. I thought, wow, that's ridiculously quick. That is super quick, you know, for me. By the time I'd gone through the city and had to keep stopping and starting and stopping and starting, and then with a bit of headwind up towards the coast on the way home, I dropped it down to, 17 over the past few hours. But it was incredibly quick to be going for such a low heart rate for me, and it was a fairly hilly route as well, to be fair. Like, I'll put it on my Strava. But yeah, it was an epic day out. I feel really good. It's made me feel really confident about the lap of Anglia coming up. Like, I know it's not going to be easy, but honestly, yesterday felt pretty easy. But I've just got to do that 2 more times, one after the other. So it's going to be tough, but I was just really happy with how my body just took to the endurance and really enjoyed it. The yo-yo was beyond incredible. Like, it's just so fast. Like, it was comfortable, it was quick, and it was just a great bike all round. It really is just epic. So yeah, so as far as rides go, I did a really decent ride yesterday. Really happy. Now I'm gonna rest up the next couple of days. Then I'm actually gonna go, mental for the lap of Anglia, and we're just gonna go for it, like flat out or not out. I mean, endurance pace. Anyway, guys, in the next couple of days, I'm gonna do a video all on the setup I'm going to be using and all the gear I'm taking. So make sure to hit that subscribe and turn your notifications on if you can. And yeah, we will catch up soon. See you later.